Good morning, Philip Pollitt here, Sutton About Town Realty in Burlington, Ontario. I'm doing a recap on today's March 4th, and spring is almost here, although it was minus 14 on my run this morning, so it didn't really feel too much like spring, but I've still got myself convinced. If I'm looking at the end of February, we had 191 sales in Burlington. And that's actually up 8% from the same month last year. So sales are picking up. I'm going to go back actually here almost 5 years. In 2015, we had 220 sales, and I'm looking at February 5 years ago. In 2016, 192. 254 in 2017 when our market was pretty much going gangbusters. And in 2018, our interest rates started to rise, and we also had the implementation of our 2% stress test, which is what brought our sales down to where it did in 2018. And in 2019, it looks like we're gaining ground, and my guess is that people have kind of been climatized to the stress test and interest rates going the other way versus over those 3 years prior, interest rates were always dropping. So we are gaining ground on sales. Months of inventory in Burlington is still not that high. We only have 2.18 months of supply. That means if that's buyer's choice, what they have to pick from. In 2018, we had 317 homes available. We have 417 this year. That's when our market was crazy in 2017 with only 164 homes available. And that's when we had five offers on everything that we listed. It was a crazy market. 2016, 297 homes. This here is basically interest rates dropping, lowest interest rates ever that we've seen. And this is basically interest rates starting to go the other way, and the stress test that was brought in 2018. So we've probably adjusted to the stress test that came in January 1st, 2018. And our sales have gained a little bit of ground on February of last year, being up 8%. Still super low amount of inventory compared to Canada end of January. Average in Canada was 5.3 months. So I think we probably still have one of the tightest inventories in the country. The Canadian stats will probably be out in the next couple of days. I haven't seen them yet, but end of January, the average in the country was 5.3. So still relatively low amount of inventory. Very healthy market, and buyers are still, they have to be choosier simply because affordability was affected so much last year with the stress test. So we're still riding on a relatively balanced market. Sales to list ratio of between 40 and 60% is considered balanced, and we're just on the top edge of that, and I think that's simply because inventory is still relatively tight. So any questions about this market report or your home in particular, I'd love to have a chat or go for a coffee. Have an awesome day.